winter, so it's nice that it actually is spring-ish weather. I do want to point out a few people here before we get started as well, kind of helped out with this night. Carol Crashman, who's taking a picture of all of us, is our College and Career Center coordinator. Angelo Georgopoulos, one of the counselors here, Bonnie Fasinelli, and Laura Iverson, another counselor. They will be here as well afterwards to answer any questions if you have some specific for them. And then Mr. Brian LaForce as well, as a counselor. I do want to go on record to thank Chuck Cook as well, even though he's not here today. A little under the weather. So, we're going to get things started here. We have a nice panel of our representatives from the colleges here. We're going to get into that. But before we do that, we have a few things we do want to cover, kind of go through before that point. All right, goals for tonight. Obviously, the main goals for that information to prepare for the college search. We're going to talk about the PSAE and all things with that. We're going to talk about ambiance. That's a huge thing. If you aren't familiar with it already, you will get used to that. It's a huge thing that we're going to have. Everything electronic transfer goes to there, so it's something you need students to get used to. And also an overview of the various college application procedures, hence the panel that we have here with us tonight.
All right, I am going to start off talking about the PSAE. That's kind of a big thing coming up for juniors this coming April. It's the Prairie State Achievement Exam, and it's happening on April 23rd and 24th. So make sure students, parents, everyone, you have those dates in mind, April 23rd and 24th. Why is the PSAE important to you? Day one is the state ACT test. And this can be used for college admission purposes. So it's a free ACT that you guys get to take here in the school on Tuesday, April 23rd. It's required for students in order to receive your high school diploma in the state of Illinois. And it's free. Okay, why else is it important? The scores can be sent up to 4 colleges for free. And I'll kind of touch on that in a point or two as well. Colleges will use the highest ACT score for admissions. So if you take the PSAE and some students will take the test and be a little bit worried, like, oh, I don't know, I'm going to get high enough of a score, I'm worried about colleges seeing that. It's okay, send that score to your schools. If the student takes the test again, what colleges will do is give you the benefit of the doubt. They'll look at your scores, your composite scores and whatnot, and will consider the highest scores. So don't be afraid about sending those scores. It's very expensive to send a score after the fact. And then juniors will complete registration during their PE classes. When you complete registration during your PE class, make sure that you put down the colleges that you want to send your scores to at that time. That is the time that you can put those schools down. If you wait until the day you take the test, they're not going to have the opportunity. The time frame is so short and the turnaround is so quick to start taking the test on that day that you won't have time to enter in those school codes. So on the day that you're registering the PE class, please make sure to put down 4 colleges that you're considering applying to make sure that you can get those scores in out for free. Another reason why it's important, it shows up on your transcript. So in that blue box, your PSAE scores will show up on your transcript. It's not considered official to the college because it's not coming from ACT. However, they are going to see those scores and realize that you took it here at North. One of the things about the PSAE that happened this past April and is continuing this year, the writing portion is no longer offered. It's a state funding thing, so we don't have the writing portion offered anymore for the PSAE test. However, the majority, or many colleges still require or recommend that you have the writing portion completed. So we recommend that you take an additional ACT test, one of the national tests that are offered on Saturdays. There's a fee for taking those tests on a Saturday, and the writing test is a little bit more expensive than the non-writing option. From a counselor's perspective, we always recommend that students take the PSAE in school if you have to, and then take one ACT with writing on the weekend, just to cover your bases for all colleges that you might be applying to. There's additional fee for the ACT writing.
Okay, we do want to switch over to a little bit talking about ambiance for the next little bit here. One thing to note, instead of having to write it, notes on this PowerPoint presentation will be on our website the next couple of days after tonight. So you will have access to this later as well, just as an FYI. But to find the ambiance link, don't go just to navbiance.com. I've had some students do that, and that's for like administrators, like the counselors that we can access. There is a link for Naviance right on the main webpage for Naperville North. When you click on there, what happens then is you basically just, each kid has their own code. Some have already put it in and may have forgotten what the code is. You can talk to your counselor, you can talk to Mrs. Crash to get that if you need it. If they haven't registered, they need to get on it as soon as possible. And you basically just go right, says, are you here? I need to register. You put in your code and follow the instructions from there. It's pretty self-explanatory. From the Naviance homepage, there's a lot of different things you can do. A couple things we're going to highlight here. The very first thing, in the About Me tab, and this is already active. We already made this active for now. When you go to the About Me tab, and you click on the very left side, there is a Class of 2013 Recommendation Scholarship Survey. So for all the colleges that require letters of recommendation for scholarships or to get in, you have to get this survey done in order for a counselor or a teacher to even write the letter. If you don't do it, the counselor will not write a letter. They'll say, get this done, and then come back and talk to me when it's taken care of. So you can start working on the scholarship survey right now. The next slide basically shows a little bit, it's just a start. Sometimes it's very basic. Your full name, what's your current GPA, and so forth. Did your mother or father attend college? But it goes into different questions as far as 3 characteristics that describe you and why. So we get a little more understanding of who you are, because for some of us, we don't get to see the juniors that often. We don't get to build those relationships as much as we want to. This helps us to get to know you a little bit more to write a good recommendation letter for the junior. Another thing you want to consider here, and I'll let Brian talk about this as well,
is the colleges I'm thinking about section. This is really important. Naviance has become such a crucial piece for us here at Naperville North in order to make sure that we can get all the information out to the colleges for your students. We've now gone, starting this school year, electronic with our transcripts. So all the transcripts that students request, they need to log into Naviance, have the school either in the list of colleges I'm thinking about or colleges I'm applying to, and then they can request their transcript that way. So if students kind of get on their game now and start getting familiar with these features and these terms, it'll make the transition senior year much simpler, so that when you're going to request transcripts, when you're going to request letters of recommendation, it'll be a smooth process. So to start adding colleges to the colleges I'm thinking about tab, you would click on the colleges tab and then colleges I'm thinking about. And then on the next page, once you start adding colleges, this is kind of what it'll look like. Just to kind of give you a breakdown, it'll list the name of the school. Next to it, it'll say the delivery type. There's 3 different icons that you would see. A computer, which means that a student would be able to apply online to that college. A computer screen with a CA in it, meaning common application, or a stamp, meaning that it's still pen and paper copy to mail stuff to the college. But one of the things that's helpful for counselors is that drop-down section of priority. If students go in and put that this is my highest priority or this is my first choice school, it helps us know where you're looking, where you're focusing on, so that we can better assist you in your college search and making sure that you have what you need in order to get into that school. One of the other features, if you're kind of new to the game, you have no idea where you want to go, what you want to study, one of the greatest features that Naviance offers is called Supermatch. It's down here in the lower left-hand corner. If you click on this, and again, this is under the colleges tab. If you click on it, it brings you to this page. And on the left-hand side, you can see a whole bunch of orange boxes, location, majors, my scores, tuition. Basically, this is your way of creating your perfect college. So what you can do is go in, click on location, and pick any location in the United States. You can pick by state, by region. If you go down to majors, you can type the majors that you're interested in. And as you keep doing things, on the right-hand side of the frame, it's going to update a list of schools and continue to update that list as you manipulate the things that are most important to you. So if you want to go to a school in the Midwest, but you only want to look at Illinois, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, it'll limit the schools to that. And then, as you add more information, it starts to refine that list. And it gives you a much better picture of schools that are the best fit for you or your student. So I really encourage students to look at this. And one of the things coming up, we're going to have junior conferences with your students, having them come in and actually speak with the counselors. We're going to go over Supermatch a little bit more in detail with them. But just something that we want you to be familiar with, both parents and students, so that you know that this tool is